Welcome back to Half Moon's Picks, and here we are, another year. I can't wait 1 month before the season starts. And yes, a lot of people are asking me, will I be doing my videos this year? I sure will. I will have the first week coming up, a week before the season starts, analyzing a lot of stuff on preseason, which they're not playing right now. During the off season, yeah, I play these random videos. I also got demonetized for a new YouTube policy, harmful content. What's harmful content? Well, some of my videos I did some reviews with casinos, so they're talking about gambling is now harmful content. So we're not going to be gambling on this channel anymore. We're going to just be discussing the NFL odds and who's going to win and things of that nature. So no gambling. On Twitter, I will be saying more things about gambling, but on YouTube, not so much. So, but here we are. We can still talk about the odds, who's going to win percentages, who's going to win the Super Bowl, things of that nature when we will on this video. So let's get the ball rolling. All right, first off, I want to talk about the AFC East. I always start off with them. This is the easiest division. New England, Bill Belichick, 68% win percentages, man. He's had like 261 and 123 of all the years he's been playing with Cleveland, New England. It's just amazing. Tom Brady is the X factor. I'll come back to him. They did pick up some nice pickups with Josh Gordon from Cleveland. Drafted Damian Harris as a running back. He will be interesting to see. They get Benjamin Watson tight end to cover up Gronk because Gronk retired. Demaryius Thomas from Houston. Like I said, I want to come back to Brady. It's the only thing, when you look at, like, say, Peyton Manning, he had 55 touchdowns one year, and then the following year 39, which is the normal, because 55 is above normal for a great quarterback, that is. And then his last year he had like 9, just like that, and they kept pulling him out of the game, and he's done, and they retired. So that could happen at any year with Brady. Any year. It could be this year, it could be next year, you don't know. But either way you look at it, they're the cream of the crop when it comes to this division. The strength of schedule right there, they're 27th out of 32. They're tied for 27th strength just because their division is so bad. Buffalo, New York, Miami. Quickly talk about them. Buffalo, I got them for second. A lot of people put New York. I'm not too keen on Sam Darnold, the quarterback. I know it's only his second year, but Buffalo's got Josh Allen. He got that killer arm. I think Buffalo, like both these two teams, just be run oriented, both New York and Buffalo. Especially when New York just got Le'Veon Bell from Pittsburgh, but he didn't play last year because he held out. Remember that? What I like most about Buffalo, most exciting thing about Buffalo this year is that English rugby player Christian Wade. He broke out quite a few times in preseason. I can't wait to see him in the regular season. He looks so stocky and built. He's just throwing players left and right out of his way. It looks very fascinating to watch this year. So, like I said, I think Buffalo might be the better defense on this. I think they got a top 5 defense, and I think that'll put them over the top with New York. They got both these teams at 7.5 wins for the season. I got both at like 7. Definitely taking under for all that. Miami, they got 4.5. A lot of people are just counting them out 2-3 wins. And the worst team in the NFL. Not me. I think Fitzpatrick can pull out a win or two. And maybe put them over that 5. Is that 4.5? I think 5 is like a good number. Just because I know they're rebuilding everything. Miami, they'll have Josh Rosen from Arizona. He didn't look that great in Arizona. Most likely won't look that great in Miami either. He's just another bad team. But Fitzpatrick, he's that wild card. He can pull out a few wins. And they also picked up Jake Rudick. I don't know if they're going to play. You know, he's Detroit's backup for a few years. And he didn't get no playing time. He's Stafford, you know, he never gets injured. But they got a new coach, Brian Flores. He was a linebacker coach for New England, so he might play New England steady. You know, they had that Miami Miracle last year. You just don't know. But that's what I got here. I got the New England with the over, and Buffalo, New York with under, and Miami. I probably wouldn't play any of these. But, you know, a good value would be, you know, obviously Buffalo to win the division at 9.5 to 1. But I'm not putting any money on this division. And New England just doesn't pay out as well, so 1 to 5. So next we're going to talk about the AFC West. My favorite division to watch, Kansas City. They're just unstoppable. Patrick Mahomes, I mean, he surprised me last year. I didn't think he's nowhere near this good. I mean, he's obviously, I think, better than Luck was when he was a big deal when he got drafted. So I know it was his second year, but he's just sat on the bench for a year. Andy Reid, you know, like I said, I understand why he got rid of Alex Smith after watching Patrick Mahomes. I totally get it. And I think they have a world of talent here. No one's even going to touch this team. We're going to go with the Super Bowl at the end of this video, so we'll go more on that. San Diego Chargers, you know, I like them just as good. They have a great defense. They can keep up with Kansas City, but what it always gets down near the end is they always lose, especially near the end of the season. Missed field goal, some kind of blunder, or screws up the game. It's just that. So I got like one game behind Kansas City. I like them both on the over, but I just under. If they can just get over that hump and beat Kansas City, that'd be great. It'd be an awesome game, you know. But it's just shy of that, you know. I think Anthony Lynn and is the head coach in San Diego is doing a great job. He has a 21-12 career head coach record. He's really built this team. They're in that soccer stadium still. They just need to get over the edge of Kansas City. Kansas City got that big leap. I thought the Chargers would take it last year, but Kansas City with that Patrick Mahomes, he's just too talented. Next, I got the Denver Broncos. They got Joe Flacco, Philip Lindsay's running back. You know, one thing about Denver is why I got them over Oakland. Denver has that great home field advantage. You know, it's hard to play in Denver, no matter what team you are. I think they'll win a handful of games. Vegas got them at 7. There's no way they're winning 7 games. Not with Joe Flacco, you know. But they might win 6, you know. So I definitely go on the under on that. Oakland, like I said, they're still rebuilding. You know, John Gruden, the head coach, he's only 99-93 record. I mean, I still think they still need a lot of key pieces. I know Antonio Brown, he got that frostbite on his feet in the offseason, but I think he'll still play okay. Derek Carr, who's they got running back? They had Isaiah Crowell, but he tore his Achilles, and so he's probably out for the season. And they just re-signed Doug Martin, you know, for Tampa, but he's been playing with Oakland. They cut him and then bring him back, and so we need you now. He's Isaiah Crowell, tore his Achilles, so they're kind of a mess. They got 6 wins. There's no way they're going to win 6 wins, so I got 5 at the most. Next, we're going to go to the AFC North. The AFC North, Pittsburgh, Cleveland, Baltimore, Cincinnati. You know, everybody is on the Cleveland Browns. You know, I brought the analogy, Cleveland Browns are like an old pony. You know, the old pony came in 20th place every time it raced. Someone tells you they're going to shoot up with a little bit of steroids. Are you going to place it to win the next race? No. You might put it the place for show, but not to win. So I'm keeping Pittsburgh on the first. I mean, they got a great staff, a great O-line, great coach, good quarterback. You know, they got all the key pieces. You know, I know they lost a running back, but, you know, Connell's just as good. You know, and he did great last year, but they just came with all that drama last year, and it's just too much for me. But this year, I hope they bounce back. Cleveland, I'm going to put them in a close second, you know, a close second in the runnings with Pittsburgh, just not over the Pittsburgh. I hope they do. I'm a bit. I'm near the Cleveland area, and I root for them when I see them. Because I always feel bad for them, but I think they're heading in the right direction, just not quite there yet. Baltimore, last year they went with like a run style college offense, just because the help with Lamar Jackson breaking to the pros. I think this year they're going to try to stay away from some of those college plays that they did last year, and to go towards more, because you can't win with those college plays, even though they did great last year. But this year, no one was expecting it last year. They're ready for them this year. But I think, but they just go all run. That's all Baltimore's going to do with Lamar Jackson. They're going to do these short passes, stick to a run game. Like I said, the defense looks okay, but like I said, they're just going to keep it to run. Cincinnati, they're a mess. Let's see. They got a new head coach, Zach Taylor. He was the old quarterback coach for the Rams. This is the first time he's a head coach, so you don't really know what he's going to do. We know Andy Dalton, what he's not going to do and what he's going to do. A.J. Green, hopefully he stays healthy. So those are the only two people that worth mentioning. They got Mixon for running back. Tyler Eifert, he's always injured. Seems like if he can stay healthy, they'll have a decent. He's a decent tight end, but he just can't stay healthy. And their defense is not looking good. So I got them at last place, probably doing the under 5.5 on that one. And next, let's go to the AFC South. AFC South, yeah. I'm high on Indianapolis this year. If Andrew Luck can stay healthy, I will take Indianapolis all the way to the bank. There's no doubt about it. Last year, they did great. They went over the 6.5. This year, they 10 wins. I got 11. They built up on their O-line. They built up on their defense. Both of those two look great. T.Y. Hilton, what do you got? 1,270 yards last year. They got Devin Funchess from Carolina's wide receiver. They still got Eric Ebron, who scored the most, touchdowns for tight end, 13 last year. Adam Vinatieri, they're still the kicker. My goodness. I could have went to high school with that guy. That guy's my age, man. Literally, I could have went to high school with him. He's got full gray beard, gray hair, everything. He's still kicking, but as long as he's making them, I'm sure they're going to keep him forever. And Andrew Luck, got reported he had a high ankle sprain in the offseason, but, I seen him practicing. So you see how that goes. Like I said, if he can stay healthy, I probably won't be, placing any money on the Indianapolis Colts just because of that high ankle sprain. But I like the Colts. Houston, obviously, if Luck goes down, Houston will take the division. So you might want to go with the over 8. I think they're just 8-18, but they're definitely the second best in this division. Deshaun Watson, great athlete. He gets a strong arm. And DeAndre Hopkins, probably one of the better wide receivers in the league. Pick him up for fantasy, that's for sure. Head coach Bill O'Brien, he's 42-38 all time for a head coach. And for defense, Watt and Clowney is still there. The running back Lamar Miller, he's okay. They only had one losing season, with Bill O'Brien. So, they're 0-3 in the playoffs, so even if they do make it, they still haven't won a playoff win. So, they're like borderline, mediocre. But like I said, Andrew Luck goes down, then obviously the Houston takes this division. Next, I got Tennessee. Mike Vrabel, I think he's doing good. He got 9-7 in his first season. They're run-oriented, this team. Big time run-oriented. So, so is Houston. I can't complain. But Houston can pass. Marcus Mariota, not so much. 2,500 yards last year. 11 TDs, 8 interceptions. Just above mediocre, Derrick Henry, over 1,000 yards last year. They did pick up Adam Humphries from Tampa Bay and as a backup quarterback in case Mariota. It tells me either they're going to bench Mariota or he might get injured like he has in the past. They picked up Ryan Tannehill from Miami. So something about Marcus Mariota we don't know about. We'll find out in the season. But they picked up a great backup, Tannehill. He's a decent quarterback. Jacksonville, yeah, no. They got 7.5 wins. That's just way too much. And Tennessee, 7.5 wins. There's no way. Both of them definitely picking the under. Jacksonville, they got Nick Foles out of Philly. You know, outside of Philly, Foles is only like 5-7 with the win-loss. 10-10 touchdown interception ratio. 50% at best. You know, they got the pass completion 60%. You know, and his passer rating is like 87. You know, just above mediocre. It's just average. You know. Nothing more, nothing less. If Leonard Fournette can stay healthy, they can run the ball well, do some flat screens. You know, nothing. I would not. You know, who's the receivers? They got Terrell Pryor from the Jets. Who else they got? They got Westbrook, Marquise Lee. Yeah, no. Short passes, run. That's what Jacksonville's going to do. Defense last year fell apart. 2 years ago they looked great, but once the offense fell apart, so did the defense. Will it crumble again this year? We'll find out. I think Foles is a step up, but he's not their answer. All right, let's run over to the NFC. The NFC East. Philadelphia looks like the team to beat. Great defense, great coordinator. You know, Jim Schwartz. You know, he was the head coach of the Lions. Very defense oriented. You know, Detroit had one of the best defenses when Schwartz in there. He's just not very good offensive minded, but he's still a defensive coordinator. Maybe he'll get that head coach position back again one day. Doug Peterson's doing great in Philadelphia. 29-19 record. That's awesome for a backup quarterback out of Green Bay. Who would have thought? You know, totally mind blown on that one. Carson Wentz, if he can stay healthy all year, can he do it? Is he like Sam Bradford? You know, you don't know. We'll find out. You know, one day he's running great, the next day he got the ankle sprain. You know, just what happens? I don't know. Deshaun Jackson from Tampa Bay, Jordan Howard from Chicago. Howard, I think he's a great running back, so that's got to help out big time with Philadelphia. They still got Zach Ertz. They got Josh McCown out of retirement just in case Wentz goes down. And if Wentz goes down, you know, McCown can, you know, get you a winner here or there, but he ain't gonna, you know, take it all the way to Super Bowl. If he's healthy, you take the over. If he's not healthy, you have to bet the under. That's your bet right there. Next, Dallas. Like I said, Dallas will take the division if Wentz goes down. That's the bottom line. So I'd bet the over on that one. They only got him at 9. I think it's a great value to take the over on this. You know, Jason Garrett, 10 years with the Cowboys, 77-59 with only one losing season. So you know they're gonna get at least 8-8 or better. So it's a good bet. The over 9. Dak Prescott, you know, he only have $40 million there in these contracts. I'm hoping none of this affects any of them. Same with Ezekiel Elliott. That's a great running back. Like I said, they're going to do a lot of running this year. They still got Amari Cooper as a wide receiver. And Jason Witten, man, he's another guy I could went to high school with. He's almost 40. I can't believe he's still playing. They picked up Randall Cobb from Green Bay. Dallas, like I said, they got great O-line. Who'd they lose? They lost Cole Beasley to Buffalo. Dallas pretty much the same team. They're going to be run-oriented, screen passes, and get Ezekiel Elliott that ball every other play. Giants. You know, for some reason, I like the Giants. Just because I like Saquon Barkley. I think he got like 1,300 yards last year, 11 TDs. He's like the today's age Barry Sanders. You know, Barry Sanders had a crap team around him 10 years, but he got us to the playoffs 4 or 5 times, you know, and that's what New York could do. They do the same thing. You just have no players around him. It's just run. If he's good, that good, he can do it. So I think they'll win a few games. You know, they got him at 6. That might be a little high. I got him at 5. But I still think, you know, the problem is New York, their wide receivers are getting injured, you know. Uh, One bad thumb, hamstring. Golden Tate, got suspended. Whether it's his fault or not, he went in the off season to have fertility drugs to have another baby, and he got popped for enhanced drugs. So I think whether he's getting suspended for 4 games. Giants, like I said, they don't have a good defense as well. And Washington, they're a total rebuild. Um, uh, since Alex Smith broke his leg, he probably won't be returning. And Case Keenum will be quarterback. And Adrian Peterson, he got over 1,000 yards, even though he's been playing like forever. Special teams look bad in the preseason for Washington. I don't know if they got ran back on a few times, missed field goals. That's going to be the Washington this year. You're going to see a lot of bumbling and fumbling. They got 6.5. There's like no way I'm giving this team 6.5. All right, next we go to the NFC North. This is my division. This is one of 2 divisions that I didn't get right last year. Of all the ones, I had like just the opposite. I thought Green Bay would be good, and Chicago would be bad, and it just had to flip-flop on me. So this year, Chicago, great, going to have a great defense, a bottom line. They lost Howard, but they still have Cohen, little shifty guy in the backfield. And they also picked up David Montgomery from Iowa State. Yeah, he looked good preseason, but Chicago not playing a lot of starters, both offense and defense, in the preseason, so it's kind of hard to get a total look at him. Mitch Trubisky, you expect him. I'm hoping he does better. He did better last year, so I'm hoping he picks up a little bit more this year. They have no offensive stars, but they have great defense, and that's defense wins games. So they're going to do ground and pound, and that's going to be Chicago this year. Minnesota, I got them at 9-7. I got them just what Vegas did. That they have no offensive line, and when Kirk Cousins, gets inconsistent when he's pressured, makes a lot of mistakes. You're going to see that as well. They got a lot of talent on that team. They Adam Thielen, he's remarkable. Stephon Diggs. I think this team it will win a bunch of games, but not enough to take the division. And they may even slip up a game. Like I said, they got the hard schedule, 10th overall, and Chicago's 5th. So, but that defense can win you games. Minnesota don't have that defense like Chicago had, so it's just a big difference. Detroit has the easiest schedule in the division, but Detroit has talent on defensive line, offensive line, quarterback, wide receiver, running back. Running back if you stay healthy, and cornerback they got Slay. The other one, not the safety. But it's Matt Patricia. That's all about him. Everybody knows the talent in Detroit, Matt Patricia. He has not proven himself yet. If he can prove himself, and a lot of people are calling Detroit the Patriots, the Detroit Patriots. Oh my goodness. If Matt Patricia can prove himself and say what he can do, everybody's calling him a genius and everything. He might be too smart for the players. That's what I'm thinking. The players, aren't that smart. They're football players. And here's this guy with the pencil in the ear, he can say where all the X's and O's can go, and the players can scratch their head and say, hey, what the heck's going on? That's what I think's going on in Detroit. So until I see a winning team with Patricia, I'm not betting on him. I did pick up the divisional odds. The divisional odds was at 12-1 with Detroit, and I did put something on that, and that was some great odds. Any one of these teams can take this division. This division's that close. So I figured, why not? Put $100 on it and win a grand. So why not? Green Bay. Green Bay. I can talk about this division all day, but I don't want to talk 5 hours on this division. So Green Bay 2 years ago, Aaron Rodgers had his second collarbone surgery. This time was on throwing shoulder. I brought this up in past videos. He had 8 screws, 2 plates, and the year after that, he sat out the beginning. And then last year he played. He did horrible. They only won 6 games last year, um, and you can see it. Like say, oh, he can throw the ball. Look, he's throwing the ball in practice. Great, yeah, yeah. But there's no big old 300-pound lineman chasing him in his face either. They got rid of a lot of players as well. Clay Matthews left. They lost Randall Cobb, and they got this new head coach, Matt LaFleur, first-time head coach. He was the offensive coordinator for Tennessee Titans. That Tennessee Titans offense stunk so bad. Does anybody remember this? How bad the play calling was? And a lot of people blamed it on LaFleur, on the Titans team, on just the play calling. And here he is gonna freaking coach the Green Bay Packers and lead them to victory. No, I don't think so. I think they're gonna be dead last this year. That's almost, I would take under 9. If my life depended on it, I would take Green Bay under 9. And that's like my best bet of the night right here. All right, the NFC South. Obviously, I love New Orleans this year. New Orleans looks so great. They did lose Ingram, but he went to Baltimore. But they still have Alvin Kamara. They did pick up Eli Apple to help out on their defense. The defense was atrocious. And Drew Brees, he looks like a Pro Bowler no matter what. But like I say, he's getting to the age where he might decline. You don't know, but I don't think, not this year. He's not there yet. Jared Cook on tight end, he looks great. Michael Thomas, wide receiver, looks great. Sean Payton, obviously probably one of the best coaches in the game right now. And below that will be Atlanta. But they got that defense packed. Matt Ryan, Julio Jones, Devontae Freeman, Mohamed Sanu, Galvin Ridley, all those guys. It's a high talented team, and I expect them to go over to 8-5 and give New Orleans a run for the money this year, especially with that improved defense that they supposedly have. Hopefully they do. From all I hear is how improved their defense is. So if that's the truth, then they should give New Orleans a run for the money. Now Carolina, below them, Cam Newton had that microscopic surgery in the offseason for his throwing shoulder. Every time I hear surgery and quarterback in the same sentence, it worries me. Greg Olsen, he's 34 years old. This is his 13th year. He's getting long in the tooth. Christian McCaffrey, oh my God, this is his 3rd year. He looks phenomenal last year. He's like their whole offense. I think he's the only person to get over 1,500 yards, both running and passing in the same season. This is fantasy player number 1 right there. Luke Kuechly, 8th year linebacker. This team's starting to get older. The defense looks good, but they also gained Gerald McCoy from Tampa Bay. I thought he would never leave Tampa, but obviously he did. But he's in his 10th year. He had 6'6" last year. So Carolina's a well-aged team with a young star with Christian McCaffrey. I think they're 8-18 this year. I'm touching that line. Next, Tampa Bay. Oh man, Tampa Bay, horrible secondary. They got a new head coach. I like their head coach. I like Bruce Arians. He has a 64% win percentage. Of all the seasons he's ever played, especially when you're coach of Arizona Cardinals, comes over. He only had one losing season. They picked up Donkey Kong Sue. That's what Cam Newton called him, but Ndamukong Suh. He went to Detroit, Miami, then the Rams last year, and now he's in Tampa. Back in Tampa, where you don't have to pay taxes. He's all about the money, but he can jam that line for the run. So I don't expect don't run towards his way. Jason Pierre-Paul, man, that guy, oh my God, Tampa. They got him from the Giants. He blew off his hand with fireworks a few years ago, and now he's involved in car wrecks, so he might not even play. He injured his neck. Jameis Winston, I don't trust him at all. Like I said, they kept sitting him last year. Fitzpatrick's been doing the job. Mike Evans, he's a great wide receiver and everything. You just throw the ball up to him. Jameis Winston, he's lost some weapons, and here he is by himself. They don't have no great backup. He had 4 years He's been in the league and he has 58 interceptions. Man, that is just not a good quarterback. So I'm putting him one of the worst teams in the NFL this year at 3 wins. And last but not least, we are in the NFC West. I still think the Rams are the best team in this division. A lot of people are hype on 49ers. You know, they've been hype on 49ers for the last 2 years. You know, but this year, I still think the Rams are a better team. You know, they did lose a couple key pieces on defense. But, you know, if Cooper Kupp stays healthy, Todd Gurley can stay healthy. I know he had that. He has arthritis in his knees. That's not a good thing. And that's like non-curable. But they can, put some stuff in his knee to make it feel okay. But they got Clay Matthews, but they lost Sue. I think this is the best team overall. You know, Goff is Goff. You know, one day, throw 400 yards, and the next day throw 50. You just don't know with him. But they do have an easy schedule. They're tied for 27th as the strength of schedule. I totally think these 49ers, look, they get the 11th. They get the hardest schedule in the division, and that's at least good for a game or two. I got the Rams winning 12 games, 49ers still winning 9, both of them going over. Seattle, Seattle, they only have one losing season with Russell Wilson. That's the bottom line. But they don't have that Legion of Boom no more. They're gone. They picked up Ezekiel Ansah from Detroit, but he had a growing issue just this year, and he had a shoulder injury with Detroit. So that guy is injury prone, But Russell Wilson, their O-line stinks too as well. So they gotta have a losing season, and I'm definitely picking the under 8.5. But even if they had an 8-8 record, you still win the under. So, Arizona, the worst team in the NFL. Next to Tampa Bay this year, Arizona will be the worst team. I don't see anything in the future for Arizona. I got 2 wins. That's what I got. One of them might be against Detroit. You just don't know how Patricia's gonna play. But Arizona, they got Texas A&M, Oklahoma, number 1 draft pick Kyler Murray. He looked good the preseason. But I've seen some rookie mistakes too. He will do that like Baltimore did. Like their offense will run that college style offense. With the wildcat background. It's just not pretty. They also got a new head coach. The new head coach, 39 years old. Texas Tech, 35-40 was his win overall record. So he didn't even have a winning record in Texas Tech. So here he is in the NFL. What's his name? Cliff Kingsbury. Yeah. The Arizona got bad offensive line. So here we got this rookie quarterback, bad offensive line, and a non-winning coach from college. They did pick up some pieces on defense. You got Terrell Suggs from Baltimore, but weapons. But if you want to count Murray, you got David Johnson, Fitzgerald, 11-time Pro Bowler, but he's so old as well. Another high schooler I went to high school with. So yeah, Arizona's not looking good. And that should wrap up every team right there. The Super Bowl, my Super Bowl prediction will be the New Orleans Saints and the Kansas City Chiefs. Why do you think I picked these 2 teams? Well, the NFL team seems to always what the public wants. So these 2 teams both cried wolf last season. Bad calls and bad plays, and the refs were on their side. And blah, blah, blah. Both these 2 teams should have went to the Super Bowl, but didn't. And they're both full of talent, And another thing is, the biggest thing I like the most, why the Super Bowl is going to happen, is because last year's 10-3 victory with the Patriots. It was the lowest scoring NFL Super Bowl ever. And people were saying it's boring, they have low ratings, and people complain. You put in the Saints and the Chiefs, it's gonna be 52-50. You know, people are gonna love all the scoring. What I'm missing, it's gonna be exciting. It's gonna be a highly watched game, and everybody's gonna praise how big it was with lots of scoring, and that's what's gonna happen, and that's what the NFL wants. Mark my words, it's gonna be these two teams. So that's it for the prediction of the season. I hope you enjoyed this video. I will see you in a few weeks when the week 1 starts. Stay tuned, like and subscribe. Peace.